Sports Podcast.
All right. Welcome to the All Sports Podcast with me, Matt, and today, Joel. How are you, mate?
Hey, Matt. All good, mate. How are you?
All good, thank you. And Femi, how are you?
Good, mate. Very well, very well.
Rejuvenated from the weekend's football, I'm sure, and we'll start there. We won't start at the home of English football, which Femi would say is Man United. I'd say it is Arsenal. We'll start at the Liverpool derby, shall we?
Yeah, I thought Liverpool were pretty good, and then just kind of kept Everton at arm's length. To be honest, Everton improved second half, and I think they've got like good players in that front line, and those players started to come into the game more. But I never really believed that they were going to get anything out of it. Liverpool it's funny that when we spoke about Liverpool in that first couple of weeks, it was like, how are they going to move forward like this? So they're just going to keep playing this kind of crazy end-to-end football, conceding goals and just conceding more. I think since then, they've settled down a bit and they're starting to look a bit more like the team that they looked like earlier last season, who are just doing enough.
I agree. I think Everton played decent in the second half. Probably a game of two halves, if being fair. Grealish has been a revelation at Everton, honestly. He's playing brilliant football. And so happy for him as well because, to go from City, with all the talk about his name, 100 million signing, and then, getting all the slack he was getting, and to move to Everton, a smaller club, was still establish himself and still continue to dominate, if we're being honest. He was the player of the month last month as well. So, credit to Everton, they definitely put in a decent performance in the second half. I just feel like Liverpool just got too much at the moment. They score goals. They also they defend pretty well. I know they're conceding quite a bit, but they're actually defending also really well. Like Van Dijk is still playing at the very best. Probably a word there to say he's probably the best centre back to ever play in the Premier League. If we're being,
I think he's up there. Yeah, I think if you think back, there was some great centre backs in the noughties, weren't there? Rio, Terry. And then that Chelsea team had some really good ones. Like Carvalho wasn't in the league for that long, but I feel like he was really good. Who else is up there?
Vidic. But I mean, those are some top names. But I don't know. Van Dijk just gives me a different level, man, of security.
Yeah,
I was a fan of Liverpool. It's just even being captain. He's just a proper leader. He just knows what he's doing. I know there's that whole stat about him not getting dribbled past because he just sits there and waits for the dribblers to literally walk with the ball. But I think he's a brilliant player, and he continues to lead this line in special ways. Ravenberg as well. What a performance!
Yeah, if he starts adding goals and assists to his game as well as being the perfect number 6 for them, it's like we're in trouble.
Yeah, the rest of the league is in trouble. Interesting what you said about Everton's forwards, because I don't know if it's a little bit that the form that they've been on and kick-started the season at this new ground, Hill Dickinson or whatever it is, they've kick-started their season. So these players have looked good, but on paper pre-season, I didn't think they looked good. I thought they looked weak.
I think there were some unknowns. There. It wasn't really clear what type of player they were going to get in Grealish. He'd spent 18 months in the wilderness, really, at City. He wasn't treated very well at City, I don't think. I think Pep...
Most aren't.
Yeah, I think Pep humiliated him a bit towards the end, personally. Like what he did in the FA Cup final where he brought that kid on who hasn't even stuck around. They've loaned him to Germany now. I just think that was a real kick in the teeth. And I think Grealish is keen to show now that he's still a top player and that motivation is there. I think there were question marks about whether that was going to be the case. Similar with Dewsbury Hall, it was a bit like where he went to Chelsea and did nothing, but, does he... Can you still see me? Oh, that was weird. He went to Chelsea and did nothing, but I think it shows good character on his part that he was only at Chelsea for a year and that he was then kind of... I don't know if he was kicking up a fuss or whatever, or they were just happy to, sorry, the Amazon man's at the door, or everybody was just happy for that to go through. But it wasn't, he hadn't played in the Premier League for 2 years. So he'd been in the Championship with Leicester, and then he'd been at Chelsea but not been playing. And I think the other question mark was whether moving in GI over to the right-hand side and fitting them all into the side was going to work. But right now they look well balanced, and that Beto is letting them down a little bit at the moment. I thought he looked a bit ragged on Saturday. Actually, there were just some points where the ball just did not stick with him at all, and he had 2 kind of half chances that he didn't really make the most of. I think behind that front line, they've obviously brought this Barry in, haven't they? And it's I think they're trying to give him a bit of time before they start relying on him. I think behind that front line they look a bit weird. Like the midfield 2. Was it Garner Gay and Garner on, I feel like I'm saying his name like 3 times there, but Gay and Garner on Saturday. But they've been playing Irubunum in there and sometimes playing Garner at left back and stuff. So whether that catches up with them, I don't know. But could they kind of get that unit of defenders and midfielders working together and let the boys at the top of the pitch do what they're going to do, bring in that barrier, and maybe he turns out to be a good player. But yeah, I think there were a lot of unknowns, and now it looks like actually they've done some pretty smart recruitment.
Yeah, I think credit's got to go to David Moyes as well. Like, just the way he set that team up just to succeed. Like, they are what I call warriors. Like, they aren't the most skilled players. Obviously, I know Njai and Grealish are skillful players, but I think the rest of the team is just, I don't want to use the word dogs, but they are just dogs just chasing after the ball. They work really hard. They play football the right way. They have the right mentality. And that's just credit to the manager. Like, Moyes has just, had the way of just getting, his man management skills are incredible. With Grealish, but also with what's his name? You mentioned him from Chelsea.
Dewsbury Hall.
With Dewsbury Hall as well. Like, 2 players, who weren't playing a lot of football.
He's a good manager for both of them, I think.
Really good manager, honestly. Like, he instills confidence in players, and those all players who want to, they want to run through a brick wall for him, and that's just the type of manager he is. And credit to him, man. Like, Moyes he's brilliant.
We'll see how the season goes for them. We all picked them to be down near the bottom end of the table for a reason. I'm still not backing them to be top 10.
Yeah, pull that out, to be honest. I think they'll be like 10th to 15th, probably something like that. But those boys at the top end of the pitch are going to be good to watch, I think.
Yeah.
From Liverpool's perspective, I think it's scary that there's probably still more to come. They've left their £100 million playmaker out. Isak is still there. This Ekatike is delivering. They can hurt you in so many different ways. They can win a game by shutting you out completely and just nicking it, or they can completely overwhelm you. Like, they've got Salah, who's always just right there waiting to kill a game. I thought it was really smart playing Bradley right back against Grealish, like a bit more of an orthodox right back instead of Frimpong. Obviously, Frimpong's still working his way in with fitness and stuff as well, but I thought that was a good decision from Slot. So, yeah, if Slot's going to be making all the right decisions and the players in important positions on the pitch are going to be in top form, Liverpool are going to be really, really difficult to stop. They're already 5 points clear, aren't they? So
they are, and having beaten one of their title contenders, those sort of 6-point games are going to be huge for them. You said about Everton possibly finishing in the 10 to 15th sort of realm. One team that would have loved a 10 to 15th finish last season, we can talk about now, in Man United v Chelsea.
I was waiting.
that was really good.
I was waiting. That's how the swear on. Do you know what? Very odd game, if I'm being honest. Very odd game. I think from the managers to the players, these are 2 very unserious clubs. I watched that game thinking, these 2, honestly, these 2 clubs, they have I've got no high hopes for Chelsea. Or
yeah.
They've got no chill.
None, honestly. First half, United started really well. The red card definitely helped, confidence as well. And I think United are a team then in need of a lot of confidence right now. So as much as they can, just compete, play the right way, It's all about confidence because they need goals. They need to just string some passes together, get some wins together, get some points on the board. And Chelsea just let them do whatever they wanted. The goalkeeper, Sanchez.
Such a weird start to the game that
strange.
culminated in that red card. Like the way that the game started, that Chelsea allowed the game to start, like they just let United get encouraged and get the crowd up. And I feel like the crowd was really important in that first half in the end.
I mean, we
And
have
it all
30
culminated in
games off.
Sanchez doing something crazy.
Yeah, always trust Sanchez to. It's weird, isn't it? I mean, we talk about the goalkeepers in the Premier League, and Donnarumma was in the market, and the fact that neither Chelsea or United went for him is so strange. Neither club have a top class goalkeeper. So you would have thought that you're banging on this door trying to get Donnarumma over their clubs, but at this stage, you're settling for a C quality of goalkeeper, and it's telling. Honestly, it's really, really telling. But listen, Bruno has saved United on a number of occasions now, like 100 goals. What was it? I think is it 86 or 96 assists? Can't remember too tough. He's been
That's amazing, isn't it?
crucial, mate. Like, I know Matt will disagree with this, but I think he's the best. He's the best centre attacking midfielder in the Premier League, easily, in my view. I don't think there's anyone better than him in the Premier League.
He was up there this weekend. Interestingly, that's not where he's supposed to be playing.
I mean,
I think the system just worked a bit better on Saturday. I think, the setup was the same, but they just applied it in the way that Amorim wants them to, particularly in that first half. I've seen United start games well. Like, they start games in the right positions and in connection with each other in terms of the defence and midfield and attack. But then if they don't score or if something doesn't go their way in the first 15 to 20 minutes, they become ragged, the gaps get bigger, and that's when the people in the middle of the park look all at sea, and that's when Fernandes starts to get shown up for the things that he doesn't do particularly well. And not that he doesn't do particularly well, but maybe the things that don't come naturally to him. And on Saturday, that just didn't happen because Chelsea completely, I don't know, they just imploded a little bit. They were playing really strangely. I don't know if I'm trying to think of the lineups and if there was anything in there, like maybe Palmer wasn't quite fit. He had to come off, didn't he? So maybe
he came off after 20 minutes, which is a bit of a concern.
Yeah, subbing off 3 players, after 20 minutes as well, it was strange.
Yeah, so they took off Esteval for Jorgensen after Sanchez got his card. So that was obviously, but then they substituted Neto as well.
It felt like panic, didn't it? Like, Neto is the type of player that you want on the pitch because he's got the pace to hurt teams going the other way and he can carry the ball. I thought it was really odd to bring him off. I don't think there was any need to bring Adebayo on. You already had Fofana and Chalobah still on the pitch with Reece James and Cucurella. Like, you could easily go to a 4 at the back. I think he just maybe hit the panic button.
Yeah, I think he panicked. Now, at that point, taking off Palmer. So I didn't actually think Palmer's injury was bothering too tough. I think he probably thought, you know what, this game is probably out of our hands. I think it's just the right time to take him off. Honestly, I'm being serious. That's why I think it was such a strange game. Maresca and Amorim, the two clowns, man. It was a circus of a game.
Yeah, I am not convinced with Maresca. Like, he's done it's a weird thing to say. He's done a brilliant job at Chelsea so far. I don't really think you can dispute that. There's a lot to manage there. There's a lot of factors, and he's got a tune out of them. I think Pochettino got to that point as well, actually, and they got rid of him at a time where it felt like he'd just about got the balance right, like with the system that he wanted to play and stuff like that. And Maresca's got to that point as well, maybe a bit quicker than Pochettino did, which is why he's been a bit more successful. But yeah, I'm just not convinced that he's going to be there long term.
Well, what I would say about the odds on the next Premier League manager to go, Graham Potter is very strong favourite, and
Poor
he will
man.
do well to last the week, especially given what the board have been saying and the pressure that the board's under. It's highly likely they'll take the easy way out and throw him under the bus. Next on the list, we've been hammering.
Yeah.
He just can't get a break.
But
Number
actually, I
4.
think if you
Well, I was going to say number 4 will surprise you. Just a game in, Ange Postecoglou.
really, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
We're
funny
just-
how I think just being at Forest probably puts you quite high on that list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, back to hammering.
Yeah, I was going to say about Amorim, like I'm just looking at the league table now just to check my thinking, but
They're back to the bottom half again still.
I
United.
think
I mean,
That's not where
Grimsby-
United should be, right?
Grimsby aside, and I know you can't really do that because it did happen, but Grimsby aside, there has been some green shoots in the first
Yeah.
2 games of the season. The Arsenal at home, and then and then Fulham away. They looked all right, and then Grimsby happens, and everybody just kind of loses their heads, and it all goes a bit crazy for a bit. But then they had City, and like that, comes with its own pressure. I think they've had a tough run of fixtures, haven't they? And actually, they've come out of it with 7 points, and you're thinking, is it going that badly? Like, I
mean, they're
think
3 points. They're 3 points off second.
yeah, like I think it's not been the worst start actually to the season, and maybe something is happening, but I don't know. It's because it's United. Whenever one bad thing happens, it just gets
Snowballs, doesn't it?
yeah, it just gets
Honestly.
blown up, and all the memes and stuff, and that stuff with the laminated tactics board against Grimsby just
So good.
screamed
So good.
man
Yeah.
on the edge, didn't it? But
Yeah, so good.
yeah.
I mean, we've got.
Yeah, you've seen some of those. Some of those moves are really good.
I
It's
mean,
been used
United
really
play
well.
Brentford and Sunderland next, so like if you can get 2 wins from both games, like it'll put you in a really comfortable position. I don't know, the international break comes right after, and then it's Liverpool away. Listen, if United don't get the points on the board as soon as possible, we might have a new manager by the time we play Liverpool. But I'm very confident we beat Brentford away, and very confident we beat Sunderland at home as well. So, yeah, I think Amorim's probably bought himself some time there.
Yeah, I think it would take a fairly catastrophic run for them to pull the trigger on him.
Agreed.
We do one more football fixture.
What are our choices? So we've done.
Imagine the Villa. Wait, we haven't done Arsenal and City.
Yeah, we should do Arsenal City probably.
Yeah, so Haaland is just incredible. Also, Rangers. This is what we thought Rangers would do, and he did. That's what they expect from him to go box to box like that, 1-2 with Haaland, set him loose. It was not many teams in the world are going to be able to stop them doing that.
No, it's amazing to see Haaland move like that. The size that he is, he's a gigantic man, but to see him just power through the middle of the pitch like that, and you're just like, wow, even if somebody touches him, their feet aren't hitting the floor. It's just like, incredible. So, I mean, when he's at it and when he's given space to run into like that, no one better, 100% no one better. But when he's clogged up in a deep block, struggling to get a touch of the ball, then of course he kind of struggles a little bit. But I think he's, in terms of starts to the season, what's he on, 5 and 5 already, maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he looks pretty good. City played in a weird way, didn't they?
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen City, play defensively. And I think that's a lot of credit has to go to Arsenal, just the way they play. And I think for the first half, especially, Arsenal kept it too safe.
I think they were confused by it.
Yeah.
I think they were like, what is going on here? This is not what we were expecting. And I don't even think Arteta started the team that you would start if you thought it was going to be that type of game.
Yeah.
It's kind of surprised.
He changes at halftime, then.
Yeah, I was surprised he didn't take Trossard off, though. I thought it would have been Trossard rather than Madueke.
Probably wouldn't want to play Saka on the right.
It was more of a frustrating performance because Arsenal were comfortably on top, all the possession, just dominated City, and just got the result, fortunately, at the end. by the skin of the teeth. But
yeah, I think it's a big result. I think in the end, getting the point and having that, because there was didn't City score really late at the Etihad early last season to get a draw against Arsenal, and that
when
always
Arsenal
yeah,
would absolutely park the bus, but City just couldn't get in. They just couldn't get into the box. Actually, they couldn't get into the box again in this game, really. I think the total touches in opposition box was something like 7, whereas Arsenal's was in the 20s or 30s.
yeah.
Yeah, it was. Touches inside opposition box for City was only 7. Arsenal had 39.
They just didn't seem very interested in getting up there. It was like, let's stick in, see if we can get one on the break. But other than that, keep your shape, work off the ball. Like Doku, I've not seen him play that way, not be asked to play that way either. But he was like an off the ball monster.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of the dirty work. So I think it was by design by Guardiola and City. I don't know if it was a case of like Arsenal completely overwhelmed them. I think it was by design that they didn't want loads of the ball and wanted Arsenal to be the ones making the run in. So yeah, interesting. I wonder if Guardiola is kind of moving in the bigger games against those types of teams, moving towards City being more of a transitional team because they never have been in the past. But I think it's an important point for Arsenal in the end. I still think that they just seem a bit on edge unnecessarily, like the crowd as well. Like it wasn't. They were getting really shrill. It was weird.
I mean, when you play as good as they did, the expectation is you're dominating the game. Like you should have at least 2-3 goals. But when you waste a half, because I still feel like Arsenal wasted,
Right?
kind of waste the first half, and you take for granted, and then you come second half and you kind of panic because now the expectations are you should win this game. Then you're having to score a last minute goal to even to get a point. But I still think Arsenal win the league. I just like this. They have 2 teams, and it's like City of the old days when they had Mahrez and Sterling, but now it's like Arsenal have 2 teams, and you really point to the defensive structure as well. Like they are just very solid, hard to play against. And they're an absolute unit as a team, and very exciting to watch. I know people are going to say, well, they play like Stoke, blah blah blah, but I think just they're very organized, with a lot of passion. I know they're still set piece merchants, if you want to call them that. In my view, they're still the team to beat. I know Liverpool will score goals, but just Arsenal, there's just something about playing defensive football.
you think it's their defence?
Yeah, you know what you're going to get. With Liverpool, there will be a time when the goals will dry up. It happens to every club, all throughout the season. But with Arsenal, when you're confident that your defence can still, withhold or withstand any sort of storm thrown at you by the other attacking teams, it boosts your confidence. And I just feel like Arsenal have enough to win the league this season. For the first time, I'm very confident that they will.
That's what I think about Liverpool, though, is they have done a very good job at plugging a gap of when the goals do dry up, the depth that they've got in attacking sense.
Unless you're Messi, unless you're Messi and Barcelona, like every team's gonna have that period where the goals will dry up. Like I don't care how many players you sign. Like there's only one football, and so unless you're Messi, Neymar, Suarez, that trio who were just always able to get goals, I just don't see how Liverpool cope when the goals do dry up.
I think they're already building up a bit of scoreboard pressure. I think that's going to be the telling. I think Liverpool have had a slightly easier start than Arsenal, and we're only 5 games in still. So Arsenal have just got to stay calm and realise that they will get their opportunities to close that gap, and when that comes, they've got to take them.
You have to take it.
Yeah, 13% of the league done. I led fantasy football for 12% of the league games, and I've now gone crashing down the league now.
Led? Oh wait, where are you now?
I've been usurped. Forget about it. Don't worry about it. Fantasy football's dead. I'm deleting the league. Or I'm deleting the players above me. Some big points. Bench boosting. Who's bench boosting?
Yeah, I can't lie. I use bench boost as well.
This
You
week,
did. Yeah.
You kind of have to.
Why?
I'm saving mine for double game weeks
Get how that works.
because when
Because they've got 2 games.
players
You got what?
let me explain to you what a double game week is.
No.
Say Saka's got a double game week. He's going to play 2 games of football, which increases his odds of scoring points.
So I mean, like, I get you, but still, no.
For bench boost,
So you
it's
could-
not as relevant, to be fair, because
Yeah.
As a triple captain,
yeah. A triple captain and free hit, I feel like, is more useful for the piling like players who are going to play twice into your team. But bench boost, it's like if you just feel like your boys on the bench have a chance of getting some points as well, then throw it in. So maybe it's fine. And don't you get two lots of chips this year?
we do. So you've got to use them. So you better hope that there's a double game week this time around. But yeah, I've already used my wild card, already used my free hit. So I've just got bench boost left before Christmas.
Use your triple captain one. You haven't used that.
No, sorry. Yeah, not used that yet.
Yeah. I'm second on
Wild
the,
card free hit, got triple captain, got bench boost.
I'm second place in 0.
Okay, well, yeah, let's not talk about niche leagues. Let me scrape through all of the leagues I've joined to see where I've got the highest position.
At least I know from this league I would actually get paid, and I know how much I'm getting paid. Not
Yeah,
cash
Cash money.
prize.
it's
Yeah,
it's a cash prize league. It is a cash prize league.
Well, what's the cash prize? Cash prize where no one knows what the cash prize is.
No,
Yeah, but it could be loads.
Yeah, it could be.
I've seen our budget.
It's dirty. No, it's dirty to.
You've seen the budget.
It's dirty to talk about money.
Money. Yeah, it's unbecoming.
Speaking about money, someone is going to have a nice Christmas.
Now, why would he ever work again?
This year? Cristiano Ronaldo gets a £52 million payoff to leave Red Bull.
Wait, talk me through that. Why is it got a payoff to leave?
It is a severance payment, officially a severance payment.
They said he's gonna come back in 2026 or so.
He's able to, yeah. He is able to. He's able to be in another team, so he is free now to return to F1. But it will not obviously be with any of the Red Bull outfits. There were some different figures banded around, but the conservative estimate is in the mid-50s, which is absolutely insane. So his salary was £10 million a year. So they've basically paid him out for the rest of his contract for him just not to be in the team.
You must have had a good lawyer.
Very good lawyer. Did he underperform?
I think they did underperform, but there was that the whole scandal thing, wasn't there, last year? I don't actually remember the details of that, but it was like not enough to sack him, but also enough that they didn't really want to be associated with him anymore, which is like perfect for him. It's perfect level of scandal.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then one of the team things is that they didn't win the Constructors last year, but Max did win the Drivers' Championship. And that has continued. They just can't deliver a second driver. They can't deliver a second car.
Strategy, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. The way that Max drives his car and the setup for his car, they can't replicate for the second driver. So they basically have to just build it around Max and then do bit parts and upgrades subsequently with the second driver after Max has already used everything. So I don't know. It's a culmination of a lot of those things, and the different direction, I guess, that they wanted to go has meant that they've had to get rid of him early. Although I don't know that that's necessarily what is driving the results for Max, because he's now won the last 2 Grand Prix. Monza, obviously, very, very fast circuit. And we know that he got the fastest time, the fastest lap record, and the fastest everything, the fastest race for Monza. Then to Baku, that's a street circuit that has some fast elements, but is a little bit more technical, as we saw with so many red flags and crashes just in qualifying and free practice. And yeah, he locked it up again, put it on pole, and then you didn't see much coverage of him in the race because he was away, and the rest of the field was where all the action was, which for a street circuit is quite rare, but there were a lot of overtakes.
I think that the story of the weekend is just a missed opportunity for Norris, isn't it?
Big time. So we had, Piastri out of position through qualifying, as was Norris, you'd probably say, starting in 7th and 9th on the grid. So Piastri had some positions to make up from the start and jumped the start and then stopped. Usually if you jump the start, you just go and you take the penalty. He jumped and then stopped, which was a big mistake. And then that basically put him to the back of the grid. And then he overdrove, locked up his brakes that were cold and went into the wall. And that was the end of his Grand Prix.
Not very out of character.
Very out of character for what we say about perfect Piastri and not making any mistakes. This was more like a Norris sort of performance. But yeah, like you said, Norris couldn't really capitalise on it. He ended up only taking an additional 6 points away because it was a little bit of a train in the top 7 and Norris just couldn't progress and couldn't get past the Red Bull of Yuki Tsunoda with a season's best performance finishing in 6th. So it was a decent return for the Red Bulls weekend. Probably an honourable mention to Carlos Sainz, who qualified in 2nd and finished 3rd, and just pipped by George Russell in the podium positions, who qualified 5th, as he usually does, usually finishes 5th as well, but got himself a podium and into 2nd. So the way that it is now looking in the rankings with that
26 points between Piastri and Norris, so still more than one race between them, which I think is that's so frustrating for Norris.
I believe about 7 to go. We're next to Singapore at the start of October, then it's Austin, Mexico. So those 3, Brazil, Vegas, Qatar is the next 3, and then yes, Marina for the final one. Yeah, so 7 races to go. So we're next at Singapore on the 3rd of October calendar.
Still lots of races to go. There's still
7's plenty. Yeah.
Like especially if Piastri is, I don't know, wobbling a little bit. If he's compounding mistakes this week, then maybe there's just something in his mind about wanting to put it to bed. I don't know.
Certainly. Yeah, we'll it'll be interesting through the North American section of the calendar who's where, and if Max is really getting something dramatic out of this car, then he isn't entirely out of the running because the last 2 wins have definitely elevated him. He's now on 255, so he's only 44 behind Lando. So it seems a little too far away, the 79 points that he's away from Oscar. Yeah, but second's still on the cards.
Feels too far to me. I mean, he probably needs Piastri to have another 3 weekends like he's had.
3 out sounds unlikely when he's had 1 out of the last 24 to 30.
Yeah, seems unlikely. But yeah, there's still a bit of skin in the game there for Norwich especially, and maybe for Verstappen.
I've mentioned North America and the US enough to try and segue us across to Bethpage and the location of the Ryder Cup this coming weekend. So Golf's Ryder Cup happening this weekend at Bethpage Black, one of the hardest golf courses in the world.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Big day on Friday. Friday's an important day, I think.
Why is Friday interesting? What are they doing Friday? I think they're doing alternate. I think they're doing alternate ball first, which is really, really hard. And actually, I read an article. I don't know if it was BBC. I read an article this week referring back to when Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods were paired together doing alternate shot. And Phil just kept on putting them in trouble. And Tiger just kept on giving him the eyes.
Yeah, but it's just the overall record of the away team in alternates is really bad. So I think that's going to be a really important day for Europe to hold their own and not get overwhelmed and not let the crowd have a big impact on what happens. So it's going to be super important on Friday that they stay in touch.
Who are the favourites going into it?
I think US with...
it will be the US with the home advantage.
Yeah.
Marginally, the US.
Yeah, I think Europe have got a good team. They've got they might not have the Schefflers, but they've got a really good chemistry within the team. I think maybe not like standout stars, but able to play the different types of golf that they need to over the 4 days. I'm optimistic. I think they can cause a bit of an upset out there.
How the matchups usually done? Is it random or is it?
No, captains pick them.
Oh wow!
So even to the point of like the first tee shot on on Thursday they'll be, it'll all be managed to try and get the best out of the team, basically.
US are obviously able to choose. They're able to choose the format that they play as the home team. Strong home team advantage. There's a lot that's in favour, as Joel said, for the European team. Obviously, Rory McIlroy, having got the monkey off his back this year with the Masters win, he's just playing for Ryder Cups now. He is, who's got the highest win percentage, actually, I think, for Team Europe is Jon Rahm. Interestingly, he has got a 0.62, so he's got a 62% win rate, pretty decent.
It is, yeah. His historic performances at the Ryder Cup have been very good. I'm worried about his form going into this one. I think he's one of the key. He's one of the key players for Europe because they need him to win some points. I think he'll probably be one of the early ones out for Europe on Thursday. I think he hit the first tee shot for Europe in the last Ryder Cup, and I wouldn't be that surprised if he's the one doing it again this time because, he's shown in the past that he's able to handle the crowds and play well in multiple formats, whether it's match play or alternates or head-to-heads or whatever. So, I think he's one of the most important factors for Europe in terms of is he able to play at the level that he has done previously?
Some facts.
Hit us with some facts.
This list. People will already know this, but Bryson's, obviously this would be Bryson's fourth appearance. He's got a less than 50% win rate. He's only got a 41% win rate.
Yeah, he's not had good Robert.
No, not good at all. The worst player, though, in both teams, with a fifth appearance this time around, and this is the first time he's been picked as a captain's pick, so he's qualified automatically previously. The worst win percentage is Matt Fitzpatrick with only 12.5%.
I'm very surprised by that.
Yeah.
I didn't have him down as that. Yeah, I knew that Bryson kind of struggled. Like he's not an ideal team golfer. I don't think like he's better off by himself doing his own thing. So when he has to play in foursomes or whatever, then it's not ideal. I don't think. Yeah, Fitzpatrick, I'm kind of surprised. I thought he had a good Ryder Cup last time out.
He's only won one of the 8 games that he's played, so he's only been paired, other than obviously having to play the singles, he's only been paired once in the other days on each occasion. So obviously the captain's not really showing faith in him prior to this either. So interesting that Luke Donald has gone with him as a pick.
Yeah, I'd say so, especially away from home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that'll be an interesting one to watch.
How many games do they typically play? Does each player play?
Yeah, it can vary because not everyone plays in the singles, right, Matt? But it's the 4 balls and the foursomes where some might play twice. So some might play in 2 pairs. So yeah, it sounds like Fitzpatrick's not really been used that much.
Probably not. We've got a message in from a caller. James from Derby has doesn't live in Derby anymore. He is going for a Europe 15-13 win.
Is he? Okay.
He can't go against Europe. I'd like to go for a kind of Miracle of Medina-esque win for Europe. I can see it being a big win. I can see the US fans getting on their backs and it not being a good return. I don't think Keegan Bradley was a good pick as captain. I think Luke Donald and the consistency is going to tell for Europe. And Rory and Rahm, I think, are going to dominate.
I hope so. I'm in the US this weekend, so I'll be watching on US time.
Excellent.
And hopefully celebrating in front of lots of Americans.
Any more stats? I've got some stats. I've got a nice list, one for each player.
Give us your best one. You keep seeing beating up.
Patrick Cantlay has got the highest win success of any of the 24 players.
Yeah, for a guy who, I mean, is it fair to say that he's disrespected the Ryder Cup? Is it
underrated?
Yeah. He's insisted that. So, Femi,
I think that's
for your knowledge, they don't get paid for playing in the Ryder Cup. It's like supposed to be a prestige thing. But Cantley has not been happy about that when he's been selected. And what was the protest that he did, Matt? Was it that he wouldn't wear his hat? Is that what it was?
Wear a cap.
Yeah,
Yep.
so he wouldn't
Capless.
wear a team cap in protest against the players not being paid.
And he's the only one.
He's the only one that was as vocal.
Outspoken about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder if he's just the only one brave enough to speak about it publicly, but they all kind of feel that way. So yeah, but he's been very. Has he played in the last 2 Ryder Cups? Has he? And I think he's been very good.
Yeah, he has really good.
That's what
So yeah, home team advantage. It's likely a 55 to 60% likelihood that the US will win. So it's just home advantage at the moment. So if we can get rid of the home advantage on day 1 on Friday, then should be okay. I think Bethpage suits our players as much as it does theirs. They're a great course to choose. Really, really challenging. They had the guy, Dr. US Open. Do you know the guy? He's the guy that goes around and makes sure that the US Opens are up to scratch in terms of being difficult enough. So he did an overhaul of Bethpage Black a few years ago and got it up to the world-renowned difficulty rating that it currently has.
What is the weather saying?
Great question. You tell me.
Let's have a look. Bit of rain on Thursday. Warm and fair at the weekend. Just clear. 24 and 24, Saturday and Sunday. Bit of rain on Thursday, cloudy on Friday.
Not a lot of wind about either. There we go. All right, well, if you've enjoyed listening in, we should have really done Ballon d'Or, shouldn't we?
No, I don't want to talk about the Ballon d'Or.
We won't talk about Ballon d'Or then. So if you've enjoyed listening in, good luck to Lamine Yamal. If you've enjoyed listening in,
Dembele, thank you very much.
Dembele's odds on.
You can like and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. You can get in touch at allsportspods@gmail.com, and we will all catch you on the next one. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.